Success often looks shiny on the outside. We see the red carpets, the fame, the awards. But what we don't see are the nights of rejection, the failures, and the doubts these celebrities faced before the world knew their names. And in this video, I'm going to share with you powerful stories of celebrities who hit rock bottom but turned their setbacks into setups for greatness. Before we dive in, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell, because I promise you, these stories will light a fire in your spirit. Let's start with Oprah Winfrey. Today, she's known as the Queen of Media, a billionaire, and one of the most influential women in the world. But did you know she was once fired from her very first television job? Her boss told her she was unfit for TV. Imagine that. The very thing she's famous for today was once the thing people said she could never do. But Oprah didn't let rejection define her. She used it as fuel, worked harder, and eventually built a legacy that inspired millions worldwide. Lesson here: what people say about you is their opinion, not your destiny. Now let's talk about J.K. Rowling, the creator of Harry Potter. Before the magic of Hogwarts reached the world, she was a struggling single mother, living on welfare. She submitted her manuscript to publisher after publisher, and guess what? 12 of them rejected her. They said it wasn't good enough, but she kept going. And when one small publisher finally gave her a chance, her books went on to sell more than 500 million copies, inspiring children and adults alike. Lesson: rejection is not the end, it's simply redirection. Keep knocking until the right door opens. Dwayne Johnson, or as we know him, The Rock. Before the movies, before the wrestling championships, there was a young man whose football career ended suddenly. He was left with nothing but $7 in his pocket. Most people would have quit, but not The Rock. He reinvented himself, first dominating the wrestling ring, and later becoming one of the highest paid actors in Hollywood. He always says, be humble, be hungry, and always be the hardest worker in the room. His story teaches us that sometimes hitting rock bottom is exactly what you need to rebuild stronger. And then there's Steve Jobs, the man behind Apple, the iPhone, iPad, and so much more. But here's the part most people forget: Steve Jobs was actually fired from the very company he started. Imagine creating something with your whole heart, only to be pushed out. Many would have given up, but Jobs used that setback as an opportunity. He built new companies, like Pixar, and eventually returned to Apple, leading it to become the most valuable company in the world. Lesson: sometimes life pushes you out of your comfort zone because there's a bigger comeback waiting for you. Walt Disney, the man who created Mickey Mouse, Disneyland, and an empire of joy. But did you know he was once fired from a newspaper because his editor said he lacked imagination? He later faced bankruptcy and multiple failures before finally creating Disney Studios. Today, Disney is worth hundreds of billions, and his name is known across the globe. Lesson: don't let anyone convince you that you don't have creativity or talent. Sometimes, your vision is too big for small minds. Even outside of celebrities, look at Abraham Lincoln. Before becoming President of the United States, he failed in business, lost elections, and suffered personal tragedy. But he once said, "My great concern is not whether you have failed, but whether you are content with your failure." He kept moving forward, and became one of the most respected leaders in history. Lesson: failure only defeats you when you accept it as final. Oprah, Rowling, The Rock, Steve Jobs, what do they all have in common? They all faced moments where giving up would have been the easier option. But instead of stopping, they kept going. Your story might not be the same as theirs, but the principle is. Every rejection, every failure, every setback you face is not the end. It's shaping you, preparing you, and building you for the success that's coming. So the next time life tells you no, I want you to remember, it only takes one yes to change everything. Lionel Messi, today, one of the greatest footballers ever. But as a child, doctors told him he was too small to play professionally. His family couldn't even afford his growth treatment. But Barcelona believed in him and paid for his medical care. Years later, Messi became a record-breaking legend, winning the Ballon d'Or multiple times. Lesson: your size doesn't determine your greatness, your heart does. Cristiano Ronaldo grew up in poverty on the island of Madeira. His family struggled to survive, and he was mocked for his accent and skinny frame. But through discipline and hard work, he transformed himself into a machine. Today, he's a global icon with 5 Ballon d'Ors, Champions League trophies, and countless records. Ronaldo says, "Talent without working hard is nothing." Lesson: discipline can take you places talent alone cannot. Neymar was born in the favelas of Brazil, where life was tough and opportunities were few. His family had little, but he never gave up on football. Through determination, he rose to play for Santos, Barcelona, PSG, and become one of the most famous players alive. Lesson: your starting point doesn't decide your finish line. Zlatan Ibrahimovic grew up in a poor immigrant family in Sweden. His father was an alcoholic, his childhood was tough, and he was labeled as a troublemaker. But Zlatan turned his struggles into strength. He became a global superstar known for his confidence, skill, and longevity. He said, "I came from that life. I know exactly what it's like. And that's why I fight every day." Lesson: your past doesn't define you, your fight does. Mohamed Salah grew up in a small Egyptian village. He had to travel hours every day just to get to training. Many people told him he'd never make it big, but he didn't give up. Today, Salah is a Premier League and Champions League winner, and a hero to millions across Africa and the world. Lesson: hard journeys produce powerful champions. Kylian Mbappé was rejected by some clubs in his early days. Coaches doubted him. But he kept pushing, and by 19 he was already a World Cup winner with France. Lesson: age doesn't limit greatness, belief and dedication do. Didier Drogba didn't become a professional footballer until 21, which is considered late in football. Many thought he had missed his chance, but he proved them wrong, becoming a Chelsea legend, a Champions League winner, and a national hero who helped bring peace to Ivory Coast during a civil war. Lesson: it's never too late when your passion is strong.